so there's our final book of the week, which is Batgirl issue 4 by Brian Q. Miller and art by Lee Garbett and Tim Levin. So it's a shame there's two artists. It's not just Garbett all the way through, and I could notice the difference as I was. I mean, it's not that the art was bad. It just wasn't as good. You know, that's
I get the feel.
The classic conundrum. So yeah, this is Batgirl as Batgirl. She's in full, got her own costume. You know, she's struggling with schoolwork and like, you know, lying to her mother and be like, yeah, I'll take it easy, mom. I'll do my studies. And of course, she's not actually lying about having a lot of homework, but she's still going to go do Batgirl stuff anyway. So and Babs is properly 100% being her oracle now, and you know, there's a lot of joke here actually where she's like, is there an iPod jack for this thing? Even this has got a datey thing where nowadays like iPods are kind of gone. Like, this is obviously much further than videotapes.
Yeah. This is only 10 years ago.
It's funny.
As opposed to...
It's funny, because think about it. We talked in Birds of Prey about the video store, right? And all the 90s action stars. And then around 99, 2000 in JSA, you had the Felicity on TV, right? It's just really funny to me that then this, you know, 2009, 2008, well, probably 2008, this issue. No, 2009.
It started in 2009.
It started 2009. I'm thinking it ended in 2009. Yeah, 2009. You know, she references an iPod, and now, like, and I miss the iPod. I do. I like my iPod, but you know, that's what it is.
The sad reality is, I don't really need one anymore.
Well, to be fair, when I loved my iPod, my phone was not as advanced, and
well, that's the thing now, isn't it? Like, most people now have a phone that far exceeds any iPod.
Yeah. So Babs is like, you just have to hum, and I love the art in that panel. This blank stare, and I love that it's identical to the previous panel. So it gives you this idea of her staring at her, and just really deadpan.
It's the amount of times that I stare at you whenever you just do a shitty pun, where I just stare at you and be like, no, I'm not having this shit.
Yeah, it's just the deadpan delivery of the line that you get from the art.
I could relate to that.
Yeah. But you can tell the art changes though, because the immediate next page it feels a little bit different. And then Babs in the following page feels different to the Babs that was on that first couple of pages. But hey, as what it is. So Steph, you know, goes around the city, gets some burglars. She fights someone on the top of a tour bus going through the city. Although
it's a proper like open top tour bus, but with like a bat symbols on it.
Oh, I have to question. City tour at midnight. It's a bit weird.
Hey, if you want to spot the Batman,
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose if you're out to see the Batman.
That's clearly what this bus is. It's the bus to spot the Batman.
Yeah, I do love that the little girl's like, no, it's Batgirl, and she gets all excited.
Yeah, I kind of love the idea that there's a tour bus going, hey, come spot Batman. That's what you come to Gotham for.
It's like Jurassic Park, but for vigilantes. I love the joke at the bottom of this when she lands, and she sort of lands on her knees and her ass is sticking out into the air, and she's like, at least I got my good side, because they're all taking photos of her.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's Babs saying it to her.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry, Babs says it to her, yeah. But I mean, the point remains.
The joke's the same.
Yeah, the joke's the same. Really good stuff. But the little girl gives her a little, you know, to keep up the good work in her ear, and it's a really sweet little moment, and she looks properly like, oh, like shocked by it. But then the main story there, she kind of kicks in, and the power goes out behind her. The entire city goes out. So okay, so what's going on there? We have to try and figure out what's happening. Meanwhile, that detective whose name Nick, there you go, he's Nick, the love interested. He's Gordon grabs him and says we need to go. And go. And actually, there's a lovely little parallel here to Babs and Steph, where earlier on when she went to fight one of the burglars, Babs like over the comms had a one-liner, right? You know, based on what he just said, and Steph's like, "Oh, you can at least give me like a chance to say something cool like that." And I love, because I keep saying this is like Batgirl. Buffy is Batgirl, right? Is kind of the way I compare this. And Buffy always had the one-liner, right? And that's like she wanted to do the one-liner, and she's pissed she couldn't. It does it again here with Nick and with Gordon. Where something they have to go to the baseball. Whatever villain's causing the blackout is at the baseball field. And he's like, oh, let me think of a good baseball zinger. And Gordon just says, leave it in the bullpen. And he says the same thing, at least give me a chance to say the cool stuff. And he's like, old habits. And so I love the idea that both Babs and Jim, father-daughter, are having the same like problem. with their young proteges. So it's good stuff. Babs, Wendy is insisting on trying to rehab herself to walk again, even though she physically shouldn't be able to ever, and she won't let herself fail. So Babs kind of tries to like help her out and give her like a talk,
bit of a pep talk. Try and hey, don't be so angry.
It's the little details I love about this. I love when they emphasize the difference between Batgirl and Batman, especially particular to the Bat that we're looking at, because I wouldn't expect this from Cass, maybe from Babs, but definitely not Cass. But they do the Batman Begins like here, when he's upside down. The Batman Begins when he takes on the guys at the docks, even at the docks. We're literally at a cargo dock right now, and Batman's upside down, and the guy's like, where are you? And he's like, here, right? And it's this creepy, Batman moment, right? I loved it in this. Steph's upside down, she's got a big giant grin on her face and says, tag. It's just the difference. It's just the little difference.
Yeah.
Her version of it. I love it. It's good stuff. So and she there's a little joke here as well where she gets it's like a mugging, and when she gets the purse, she looks inside to see who it is, to who you have to give it back to, and it's her mum's purse. So instead of handing it to her, she just sort of throws it at her.
It's quite a funny view where it's her mum giving the report to the police, and they're like, what did the purse look like? And it just goes flying across behind her and smacks the window with a great whap sound effect.
Yeah, it's
just like that.
Yeah, the baseball field, which does have lights because they've got like a backup generator or whatever. Like they find like a burned employee. Pretty grim stuff. And Steph's doing a little bit of her Spider-Manning. She's eating a candy bar in costume, just sitting up on a flagpole, as you do. Great panel at the bottom of the page here though, because some big electrical occurrence happens. There's a big orb of lightning in the city, and she sort of dashes off to it. There's a great panel at the bottom where it's just like her in silhouette with a cape. It's actually very similar to that Year One panel of Batman on the city, the rooftop.
I can see what you mean.
I mean, just in the sense that the cape's kind of flowing the same way. It's a very similar,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Bat spring into action. So, and Wendy has a sort of dramatic moment. She sort of falls over when she's trying to, walk in the beams, and Babs tries to help her, and she breaks down and starts crying. So, they're kind of building this Wendy stuff up for later, obviously. We're not quite at what the point of it is yet.
Biggest critique of the art of the issue is definitely this here, where it really emphasized on her ass when she's down on the ground, breaking down in tears. Yeah,
not a time.
Play your moment. Like, at least when they're doing it with like the superheroes in costume, like they're in a big action moment. I get it. I understand. Like that's the moment that you're choosing to do it, right?
Yeah.
This here, not the moment.
Yeah. So yeah, it turns out to be Livewire is behind all this. My favorite moment of the issue,
definitely,
easily, is Gordon and Nick are like behind their car, sort of taking cover, and Steph kind of grapples past them and just sort of waves at Nick and says, "Hey you," and Gordon turns and goes, "Hey you," and he's like, "No one raises an eyebrow when you talk to Batman," and he's like, "I'm pretty sure Batman's legal, detective."
That cracked me up.
I love this moment so much. So much.
This is my favorite moment of the run so far, frankly.
Yeah, and the fact is we know that she is legal. She's in college, right? I mean, if she isn't, she's about to. Like, there's no way she's like much younger than 18. She has to be like hitting it.
You have to be, right?
Yeah, no, you have to be. Yeah, I mean, it depends what part of the school year the cutoff is for the age, I suppose. But like,
does it?
Well, obviously here you'd always have to be 18, but I don't know. But
I'm assuming that you'd always have to be, because surely you'd have to be 18 by the way it works.
Probably. Anyway, we know she is, right? But obviously she's just of age because she just started college lately.
She's young. Is the point.
Yeah, she's young. So to Gordon, like, she looks borderline, is what he's saying.
The point here is she's very clearly Batgirl and not Batwoman.
Yes. And Livewire's all cocky, like, you know I fight Superman, right? Like you don't have a hope in hell. But of course she actually, sprays her with water, hits a hydrant. Although she does talk about she hopes the boots will protect her ankles. She's like, oh god, this is going to hurt.
That's a great little lettering touch as well. Is it's just on repeat with no spaces.
Yeah,
and you kind of get exactly what it's saying. It doesn't take much deciphering because it's a really nice font.
I love the payoff to this fight where because it builds up because Livewire has that line, I fight Superman, you know that, right? And like she takes her down with the water. So okay, she's kind of got a good lick in there, but she's not won the fight yet. And Livewire blasts her with the lightning, and it's kind of this repeated panels going down the page of like Steph sort of holding her hands up going, oh no, I'm getting hit, and it just sort of keeps going, and at the bottom of the page she sort of just looks down at herself and like, oh, I guess she's like
Livewire's like, guess the suit's insulated her. She's like, guess it is.
Yeah, it seems like this went quite well. It's almost kind of that moment in Avengers where Thor lights up Iron Man, and obviously it's a bit different because he's like, oh, it energized the suit, but it's kind of a similar beat.
Just it didn't kind of go as planned. In this here, it's like, you're gonna punch me now, and then she finally gets a one-liner in. Huzinga.
And the visual of Steph being draped across a car, drinking coffee or whatever. And but Babs, who's our computer science teacher now, is like, well, you've got homework to do. That really cracked me up. But it's dawn, of course, and her mum tries to wake her up for school. It's 6 a.m. maybe. So she hadn't even went to fight Livewire yet at midnight. So she got home. I mean, actually, it was 5:20 when she was talking to Babs. It tells you in the previous page. So she's been home for at most like 35 minutes. At most. And her mum's waking her up for school, and she's like, get out. And she's like, no, give me a few more minutes. And it just ends with her saying, the first few nights are always the hardest, which was said earlier on, and she shuts the door, and that's the end of the issue.
Yeah. I actually think that it's one page too many. Like that like beat where it's just the Babs and Stephanie hanging out. We've earned a little quiet. I think that's the beat it should have ended on, personally.
I have no issue with the final page. I think this issue is kind of perfect, and the first 3 issues were the arc of her becoming Batgirl, and this issue is like, here's a one-off standalone adventure of showing everything you can expect from this run. It shows you, Babs being her full-on, person in the chair. It shows you how Wendy's going to factor in. It shows you her mum being a main character. It shows you Nick and Gordon's involvement, and how they relate to Steph. It gives you a taste of everything that the run's now going to be from this point on. So I think is that almost like the second pilot in a way. It really works in that sense.
I get it. I think because we got the like a little page at the start about being at home and the homework, I didn't really need this one at the end as well. Like, I get there thinking, oh, it bookends it. I understand where it's coming from. I just think the moment of the previous page has just a better, more impactful ending for me.
Okay. All right, then what are you giving it?
I'll give it an 8.5.
Still gonna get rate it higher than anything else this week. It's very excellent.
That's not true. I give a 9 to Batman.
Oh, so you did. I'm also gonna give it 8.5. I think it would have been the 9 probably if it was Garbett the whole time on art. I think the shift in art is what takes it down that half point.
Yeah, even if it had just been the other art the entire issue, there's just a page where it shifts here or there where it's like, if I can tell, and that's worse.